Have you ever wondered why your erection stopped appearing in the morning, even though your mind still feels alive inside your body? For millions of men above 60 and 70, the first symptom of declining vascular performance is simple: waking up without that natural firmness that once came effortlessly. And the truth is that this change has nothing to do with being old and everything to do with how your body starts the day. Behind the scenes, your erection is decided in the first minutes after you wake up. Those early moments control whether your blood vessels open or stay constricted, whether nitric oxide rises or collapses, and whether your hormonal receptors activate or remain silent. So when a urologist says that a morning mix can bring your erection back even after 70, they're talking about influencing the exact systems that fail during age-related erectile dysfunction. Men who lose their morning erection usually suffer from the same internal problem: the vascular androgenic axis no longer responds. Blood flow weakens. Endothelial cells stiffen. Nitric oxide drops to a fraction of what it used to be. This is why the promise "wake up with your penis hard again" only makes sense when you understand the biology. The erection is not a reaction, it's a pre-programmed physiological sequence that begins as soon as you open your eyes. If the body doesn't receive the right biochemical signals at that moment, nothing happens. Not in the morning, not during the day, not during intimacy. The morning mix acts exactly on this window. It's not a stimulant and not a shortcut. It's a targeted combination of compounds known to activate three essential functions: nitric oxide release, reopening blood vessels that have become rigid with age; endothelial reactivity, restoring the elasticity and responsiveness needed for full engorgement; hormonal bioavailability, increasing the portion of testosterone your tissues can actually use. This is why urologists pay attention to morning intake, because older men still produce enough potential, but the body doesn't switch it on. When the right nutrients enter the bloodstream at the right time, the system reboots. Warmth returns to the pelvic region. Circulation strengthens. And the morning erection, the fundamental marker of male vascular health, starts to reappear. You are not broken, and this is not a lost cause. Your biology is simply waiting for the correct signal. And in this video, you will see exactly how to send that signal every single morning. Before we continue, verify if you are already subscribed to the channel. And deixo seu comentario escolhendo uma palavra. Circulation se você acredita que o maior problema é o fluxo sanguíneo, ou. Recovery se você acredita que o corpo precisa de uma reativação geral. Why does a man who was once naturally responsive suddenly struggle to maintain a solid erection after his 60s or 70s? The answer is not a single cause, but a sequence of internal failures that slowly weaken the very mechanisms responsible for rigidity, pressure, and vascular expansion. The first change happens in the endothelium, the ultra-thin layer of cells lining every blood vessel in your body, especially the arteries that feed the corpora cavernosa. With age, these cells lose elasticity. They stop releasing adequate nitric oxide, which is the molecule responsible for allowing blood to enter the penis at high velocity and stay trapped long enough to create firmness. When nitric oxide declines, the erection loses force long before you notice it. At the same time, the smooth muscle fibers inside the penis begin to stiffen. These fibers are supposed to relax deeply so the chambers can fill with blood. But aging, microinflammation, poor circulation, and years of oxidative stress reduce their ability to respond. Even if the brain sends the signal, the tissue cannot execute the command. Then comes the hormonal shift. Testosterone rarely drops to zero, instead, it becomes less available, trapped by proteins, poorly absorbed by receptors, or unable to trigger the same metabolic effects it once did. This means the body still produces hormone, but the penis cannot rate it. Finally, microplaque accumulation and reduced arterial diameter limit the volume of blood that can reach the pelvic region. Erections depend on pressure. If pressure cannot rise fast and high, rigidity fades. Most men think the problem appears overnight, but the truth is that erectile dysfunction begins as a slow collapse of vascular performance, hormonal responsiveness, and endothelial vitality. Understanding these mechanisms is the first step to reversing them. The effectiveness of the morning mix comes from the precision of its ingredients. It is not about adding random healthy foods, but about selecting compounds that directly stimulate nitric oxide release, endothelial repair, and smooth muscle relaxation, the three pillars of a strong erection. Each nutrient must act on a specific biochemical pathway, and together, they create a cumulative effect that older men rarely achieve through normal diet alone. One of the core components is L-citrulline, a precursor that bypasses digestive limitations and converts efficiently into L-arginine inside the bloodstream. This process fuels the production of nitric oxide, the molecule that tells blood vessels to expand. For men over 60, citrulline works better than arginine itself because the aging digestive system absorbs it more consistently, ensuring a reliable rise in vascular response each morning. Another crucial element is a polyphenol-rich source such as pomegranate extract or concentrated grape compounds. These antioxidants target oxidative stress inside the penile tissue, protecting the endothelial cells that regulate blood flow. When endothelial damage decreases, nitric oxide can circulate longer and act more intensely, resulting in firmer, more sustained erections. The mix also incorporates a circulation-boosting spice, typically ginger or a form of bioactive turmeric. These compounds enhance microvascular flow and reduce low-grade inflammation, two conditions that silently sabotage erection quality in older men. Their role is not stimulation, it is restoration of vessel flexibility. Finally, a natural hormonal support ingredient, such as zinc or a botanical adaptogen, ensures that testosterone remains active and usable. This does not increase hormone levels artificially, instead, it improves receptor sensitivity and keeps androgenic signals strong enough to support sexual function. When combined, these elements create a morning biochemical trigger. They restore the internal conditions necessary for pressure, fullness, and the return of consistent, reliable erections. For the morning mix to trigger the vascular response your body needs, timing and preparation matter as much as the nutrients themselves. The first step is to take it before your first major meal, when your system is most receptive to compounds that influence nitric oxide and endothelial function. In this early window, absorption is faster, hormonal sensitivity is higher, and circulation is easier to stimulate. Start by adding the citrulline dose to a small glass of water. It dissolves quickly and remains stable, ensuring your body receives the full precursor needed to generate nitric oxide. Then, incorporate the polyphenol source, ideally in liquid or concentrated extract form. These antioxidants bind with endothelial cells almost immediately, offering protection and improved signaling. Next, blend in the circulation-boosting spice. Ginger or turmeric should be in powdered or liquid form, never raw chunks, because the active components absorb far better when already broken down. The final component, your hormonal support element, can be mixed in or taken separately, depending on the form. Minerals like zinc often work best when swallowed alone, while adaptogenic botanicals integrate well directly into the mix. Drink it slowly rather than all at once. This allows each compound to enter the bloodstream in a staggered pattern that better aligns with the body's natural morning activation cycle. Within minutes, your circulation begins to respond, and with consistent use, this routine becomes a daily signal that reawakens erection function. Before avancarmos, deixo nos comentários qual parte sua rotina matinal você acredita que mais influencia sua circulação, water ou meal. When the internal mechanisms that govern erections begin to reactivate, the body sends signals that are subtle at first, but unmistakable once you understand what they mean. The earliest sign is a return of warmth in the lower abdomen and pelvic region shortly after taking the morning mix. This warmth is not psychological, it is the physical expression of increased blood movement through vessels that had been constricted for years. Over the next days, many men notice a heavier sensation in the genital area, especially in the morning. This occurs because the endothelial lining regains elasticity, allowing the corpora cavernosa to expand more easily. Even partial morning firmness, not yet a full erection, is an indicator that nitric oxide release is improving and that the vascular system is responding. As the weeks progress, the next change is speed. Erections begin to appear faster, without the long delay that often frustrates older men. This acceleration happens because smooth muscle fibers are regaining their ability to relax deeply, which is essential for a full, rigid erection. When these muscles fail, the penis cannot trap blood. When they recover, pressure builds naturally. Another important milestone is consistency. Instead of having one good day followed by several weak ones, the body starts producing reliable responses. This stability shows that hormonal bioavailability has improved, not through a large increase in testosterone levels, but through better receptor sensitivity and reduced inflammation. Finally, libido often rises as a secondary effect. This is not because the mind suddenly becomes more interested, but because the body once again feels capable. Sexual desire tends to return when the physiological systems that support it are functioning properly. These changes form the biological roadmap that tells you the process is working, even before full results appear. One of the biggest obstacles to restoring natural erections after 70 is not the lack of treatment, it is an everyday habit that silently cancels the very improvements the body is trying to make. Many men begin their mornings with routines that seem harmless but directly suppress nitric oxide, restrict circulation, or increase endothelial stress. And they do this without ever connecting the habit to their erectile decline. The most common mistake is starting the day with excessive caffeine on an empty stomach. For younger men, this may do little harm. But in older men, it triggers a spike in cortisol and vascular constriction precisely when blood vessels should be relaxing. This means the morning window, the most important moment for reactivating erection physiology, is shut down before it even begins. Another silent sabotaging factor is high inflammation breakfast choices, such as processed carbs, sugary spreads, or salty foods. These choices impair endothelial function, making it harder for nitric oxide to act, even if your morning mix contains the right compounds. Instead of supporting circulation, the body shifts into metabolic stress, delaying vascular relaxation for hours. A third mistake is remaining seated for too long immediately after waking up. Pelvic circulation is heavily influenced by gravity and mechanical movement. When you sit for extended periods right after waking, blood flow to the lower region stays minimal, weakening the very response the morning protocol is meant to activate. None of these habits appear dramatic on their own, but together, they form the perfect environment for erectile resistance. Correcting them removes the hidden pressure that keeps the body from responding, allowing all previous steps to work as intended. Restoring erection function after 60 or 70 is not about relying on a single action, it is about creating a short, consistent morning protocol that aligns circulation, hormonal availability, and endothelial performance at the same time. The morning mix is the biochemical trigger, but its effect multiplies when combined with a few strategic behaviors that prepare the body to respond. Immediately after taking the mix, light pelvic activation helps direct blood flow toward the lower region. This is not exercise, it is simply controlled movement that signals the vascular system to open pathways that have stayed narrowed for too long. Even 1 minute of standing hip mobility or slow abdominal breathing can increase blood distribution to the corpora cavernosa. Hydration is the next step. Older men frequently underestimate how much low water intake weakens erection quality. Proper hydration increases plasma volume, making it easier for nitric oxide to circulate and for pressure to build inside penile tissue. Drinking water during the first hour of the day reinforces the chemical effects of the mix. A small, balanced meal with minimal sugar completes the protocol. Stable glucose avoids the inflammatory spike that weakens endothelial sensitivity. Foods rich in healthy fats or clean proteins help maintain testosterone bioavailability throughout the day. When these elements are performed together, nutrient trigger, circulation activation, hydration, and stable energy intake, the body receives a coordinated morning signal, improve flow, restore elasticity, and prepare for consistent erectile response. With consistency, This protocol becomes the ideal internal environment for the return of natural erection function. If you reached this point of the video, it means you're truly committed to understanding how your body works and how to restore your erection naturally and intelligently. So make sure you resubscribe to the channel. That's the only way you won't miss the next steps of this journey. And if you made it all the way to the end, leave a comment with the word restore so I know you're part of the group that stays until the final second. Also, don't forget to leave your like, it tells me you want more videos com contudo técnico y derecho assim. And now, go ahead and watch the next video that's appearing on your screen. It continues exactly from where this one stops.